Day, according to the Clarion Ledger. Texas men's basketball coach Chris Beard arrested this morning on a felony domestic violence charge. The university said it is gathering information and monitoring the legal process. Number 7 Texas hosts Rice tonight. 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy says he believes he'll be ready to play Thursday night against Seattle despite an oblique injury sustained in the win over the Buccaneers. Purdy made quite an impression on his Niners teammates yesterday and also on ESPN's Ryan Clark.
Now you put Brock Purdy in there, who is probably more talented, at least now, than Jimmy G is, who also understands it here after having that experience at Iowa State. They're better. This is the best quarterback play the San Francisco 49ers have gotten the entire year.
Ryan Clark on Get Up. Jimmy Garoppolo is out with a broken foot. Cowboys right tackle Terrence Steele will miss the remainder of this season with torn ligaments in his left knee, reports ESPN's Todd Archer.
Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. Fortunately, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. It's a good thing, too, because having a home is hard work. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. Geico.com. Easy.
In the heart of Beer City, USA. 2 men, 1 journey to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their shit. Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene, the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings. And Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app and seen everywhere on YouTube. And if you're tuning into the YouTube channel at the moment, you can see Jeremy Greene in all his glory.
Well, my. What happened?
Jeremy finished first in the battle for the belt yesterday, and now he's convinced himself he's going to be taking that pretty boy home.
Well, look what happened. Winning time showed up, and winning is what happened.
Finally, after all these weeks, Jeremy gets a win, and it comes at the most opportune time.
Can't win in the first quarter. You can lose in the first quarter. You win in playoff time.
Yep.
And that's just it's a credo I live by. No big deal.
I've been dealing with this all afternoon long, and now you get to live with it as well for the next 3 hours here inside the Ingles studio. You can hear the Sportsocracy, of course, everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, and subscribe to the YouTube channel just by going over to thesportsocracy.com. Click on the live video link, subscribe to the channel, get the alerts whenever we are live here in the Ingles studio, and, of course, you can get into the chat with us by subscribing to the channel as well. Yes, Jeremy wins the battle for the belt. We've got playoff talk all day long today in the Sportsocracy.
Yeah, because there's some teams that might make the playoffs that I don't think any of us really saw coming.
Didn't see that coming. That's for darn sure. It's not a victory Monday. Well, I mean, it is for Jeremy personally. But
yeah,
not a victory Monday for any
battle
of our
for the belt.
teams.
All of the competitive things, I won all of them.
Yeah, neither of our teams won yesterday.
That's fine.
And we'll talk about each of those games coming up later on in the program. I guess now would be a perfect time for the opening drive. Opening drive always brought to you by Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville. Go to 629 Brevard Road. You need a car? New or certified pre-owned, they can hook you up. And when you go in to make your transaction, mention the Sportsocracy, and they'll give you a $250 bonus on top of whatever your trade-in is worth.
They've got me in a brand new Nissan Frontier that me and Belty have been riding around in for the last 3 days. Perfectly safe, big, wonderful, luxurious vehicle. Feel like you're the only person on the road. 629 Brevard Road. Tell them the 2 formerly fat guys from the Sportsocracy sent you.
Belty,
that is her name. She has found a place on my shoulder and seems to be pretty confident.
Yeah,
pretty comfortable there.
I've been saying this all season long. Please, dear God, somebody else win this thing other than him. Jeremy outscored the next opponent in the battle for the belt by just over 13 points. So he's got a little cushion.
In the words of my buddy Gary V, that's receipts. I saw all of that smack. Well, you haven't even won a week. Well, but what if?
But what if he did? But what if he did?
I love the conspiracy theory that I was sandbagging. That was in our Discord. That was in our Facebook chat last night. Jeremy's been sandbagging all year.
No.
And now, if you know me well, I'm way too competitive for that.
Absolutely. He doesn't sandbag. He won that. He won the Beat the Chief contest this week as well. So
something that I've yet to hear anybody point out, though, is what do I scream from every rooftop in fantasy football? I don't care what your schedule looks like until when?
Until playoff.
Until the playoff weeks.
Yep.
Which means I'm pretty well versed on what I'm doing here. Just throwing that thought. Kind of like the Carolina Panthers.
Yep. Carolina Panthers win 30-24 over the Seattle Seahawks, and now the Carolina Panthers, they're sitting at 5-8. They're second in the NFC South, one game behind the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and this is all going to come down to the matchup in 3 weeks.
They control their own destiny. You have to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, the New Orleans Saints, who will be playing for absolutely nothing, and then you have to beat the Bucs, who you've already beaten once. Mm-hmm. And based off what I saw yesterday, that's not the tallest task I've ever seen.
No, it's not. That game, my game went exactly as I told you it was going to go.
I'll give you credit. You called that exactly right. You should have taken that one to the desert and made all the monies.
I should have. That was one of the biggest surprises for me in the Beat the Chief contest on Friday. I was the only one taking the San Francisco 49ers to cover against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I saw that going no other way. Like I said, we'll get into that game coming up a little later on in the program. Also, all the other shenanigans going on because, watch out, world, but the Detroit Lions are coming for a playoff spot.
Mm-hmm. And they're going to have one of them. Because I don't see any way they're not making the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to level. I don't know who's going to win the NFC South. I know it's going to be a team that doesn't deserve to be in the playoffs.
Absolutely.
And it's going to be a team that is going to get absolutely just teetotaled by whoever they play in the first round.
Dallas Cowboys.
But I'm warming to the fact that that might be the Carolina Panthers and not your Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
It very well could. Lot of talk today about not only the Carolina Panthers possibly making the playoffs, but once again, Steve Wilkes, we got to give him the job now if he makes the playoffs.
Yeah, maybe he should stop throwing the organization under the bus in press conferences. If you want the long-term job.
Ooh, what did he say?
Oh, in spite of the franchise trying to tank. Hey, Steve, we don't say that out loud.
Oh, they're stacking the deck against me and I still win?
Yeah, basically, yes.
Yeah, don't. Yeah. Okay. Whatever. You beat the Denver Broncos and the Seattle Seahawks. I get that once we thought the Seattle Seahawks were one of the best teams in the NFL. They're not anymore. They've fallen off. And congratulations. I'm going to keep saying it over and over again. You don't want this. You don't want to make the playoffs.
No, you don't. Whoever makes the playoffs in the NFC South puts themselves behind the 8 ball.
Mm-hmm. But we can win a division. Well, congratulations. You'll win the division, and you'll get a worse draft pick, and you'll be taken out of the running for all of the quarterbacks.
Yeah, Carolina, you're picking 9 right now. You win the division, you're picking 19.
Uh-huh.
And you can have your opinions on Will Levis or C.J. Stroud or whoever. That does mean you will ride with Sam Darnold.
Mm-hmm.
Do feel like some wise gent once told you already have a quarterback that's better than Baker Mayfield. I don't know who that guy could be. Man, if only you had listened to me from the jump. It's not that statistically he's going to – no. That's not the point. The point is if you keep him in positive game script, good things happen.
Mm-hmm.
Weird. You have 5 wins. 2 of them have been in the 3 weeks that Sam Darnold was active. That must be a coincidence. I'm sure that's a coincidence.
I mean, it kind of. I feel like it kind of is a coincidence.
It's not at all.
But
You have one weapon that really scares anybody. With Baker, he was the most irrelevant player in the NFL. With Sam Darnold, he's a Pro Bowler. That one stat by itself is enough. And yet nobody wanted to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Sam Darnold was cast off by the Jets. Yeah, because the Jets were awful. That Panther team you had him with last year, also awful. This team is not awful. The defense is pretty good. And you're in the worst division in the history of professional football.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly in the history of professional sports.
I hear no lies.
And I, like Bernie Sanders,
but
I am
really,
here again begging you, disband division winners getting playoff berths.
But if it had been P.J. Walker playing these past 2 weeks, couldn't they still have won these games?
In theory.
In theory. I get
They
it.
could have also turned it over 3 times and allowed Geno Smith to be in positive game script. Because I don't know if you've learned this. Jared Goff, Brock Purdy, Mike White. I keep doing this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what all of those teams have in common? They don't get behind the chains very often. P.J. Walker does.
Mm-hmm.
Baker Mayfield does.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't scare me in any way. Sam Darnold is just mobile enough and has just good enough of an arm to scare you. In Seattle, well, I don't like saying I told you so, but I don't see a path that you win another game all year because the script on Geno Smith is out. You keep throwing up 60 QBRs, that's fine. You're not threatening anybody.
No.
It is empty calories.
Mm-hmm. And when you don't have a running game, it doesn't help.
That was the whole narrative of yesterday. One of these two teams ran 46 times. One ran 14. Who do you think won?
Mm-hmm.
It's not that hard to figure out. If you got a mediocre quarterback and you can't run, you're in trouble, which is exactly where Seattle's at right now.
Yeah. I mean, give the Carolina Panthers defense their flowers if you want to. But you also have to come back to, okay, so we stuffed the run yesterday. Yes.
Against Travis Homer.
But it was Travis Homer. Like, we do have to keep that in mind. But I'm just trying to keep you a little level-headed here about where this is going. Get yourself caught up in the playoff chase and all that if you want to. But just know where the line ends. The line ends at Dallas. You want to bring Dallas into Bank of America Stadium and see how that goes?
Yeah, about Dallas. We were 45 seconds away from yesterday, today just being a victory lap of all victory laps.
Right. Without Jeremy's team winning, he's still taking victory laps.
Oh, yeah. Frankly, of all the things that happened yesterday, that's not even the top 5 of things that I care about.
What?
Anything to do with the New York Jets. I could care less.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe make the playoffs, maybe you don't. Even if you get in, you're going to get slaughtered.
Mm-hmm.
End of analysis. But if you're a Panther fan, we told you. There were several of you in the comments saying the Panthers are going to win this division. We called you out of your mind.
Absolutely.
Now 4 weeks to go in the season.
We just didn't know how bad it could be.
That's the bigger narrative to me.
In
spite of who wins this division or what happens, you're just a lamb being trotted and slaughtered.
Mm-hmm.
The bigger narrative is Tampa Bay is done like dinner. And I never thought I would say this, but the reason is Tom Brady.
Yes. Yes, it is. He's not the sole reason. Those Brady defenders will come out and say, "Oh, it's not all on Tom." I get it. It's not all on Tom.
And you can be a Brady defender all you want to.
Mm-hmm.
But after the break, I'm going to say something that I never thought. I mean, I would think I've said it because I've said it for a while, and now I've said it for so long that it's been a self-serving prophecy, and it's fulfilled itself.
Yeah, you predict something long enough, eventually it will come true, and finally that day has come for Mr. Jeremy Greene, because I don't see a path for this getting any better down in Tampa. And frankly, I won't be shocked if they just pull the plug and end it today. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
Benefiting Manna Food Bank will be on display at Asheville outlets as a reminder of the needs of so many families in western North Carolina. Drop off non-perishable items in the donation barrels at all Ingles locations. Donate online or at the Ingles Giving Tree at Asheville outlets so Manna Food Bank can reach everyone who needs help. Nothing can hold back the holiday spirit of giving in western North Carolina. Please help Ingles Markets, iHeartRadio, WLOS, and the Asheville Citizen-Times ensure Manna Food Bank can fill thousands of empty plates this season.
When I finally drove the old car into the grave, I knew there was only one place I was going to go. Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, home of the family plan. And yes, they treat you like family. I went in, told them what I was looking for, told them my budget, and in no time, I was signing the paperwork on my certified pre-owned vehicle. They have the area's largest selection on quality pre-owned vehicles and certified Nissans. They go through a 167-point inspection, so you know it's not going to let you down. They gave me the Carfax report, so I know the history of my vehicle. And the Fred Anderson family plan gives me things like oil changes and car washes and loaner cars if I have to have major work done on the car in the future. For me, buying a car has always been an intimidating thought. But the folks at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville made it super easy. Don't be like me. Don't wait till the last minute to get a deal done. Go to AndersonNissan.com or stop by the showroom at 629 Brevard Road. And don't forget to mention we sent you from the Sportsocracy and get a $250 bonus on your trade-in at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
Real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
Mom, Dad, let's talk.
Before you know it, I'm out of here.
I want to go to college. Or start a business.
My allowance ain't gonna cut it. Ooh, sorry I said ain't.
The UNest app puts smart investing tools right in the palm of your hand. And with the UNest gifting link, friends and family can contribute to your child's account. Start investing today. Download the UNest app from the App Store or Google Play. See terms and conditions at unest.co. That's UNEST.co.
Let me guess. Unknown caller? You could reduce the number of unwanted calls and emails with online privacy protection. The latest innovation from Discover will help regularly remove your personal info, like your name and address, from 10 popular people search websites that could sell your data. And we'll do it for free. Activate in the Discover app. See terms and learn more at discover.com/online privacy protection.
The Sportsocracy.
These guys are a f***ing disgrace.
It's ESPN Asheville, and yeah, that's the statement of the 2020 season for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Because these guys are awful. Terrible. I told you all week long yesterday, we were talking about this San Francisco game, and Jeremy and the Chief both trying to assure me, oh, you're going to be in this game. No, we're not.
Well, here's the thing. I've thought about this a lot. And here's where we got duped. We are thinking this is the same Tom Brady that has haunted our nightmares for the last 22 years.
It's not.
And it's not. Because, Tom, I got news for you. You can get angry and pitch your little fit and throw tablets and yell and scream. It's on you, Bubba. It's on you. You are the problem here. And look, Todd Bowles is a very large part of it. Don't get me wrong. You ever known that we've all had a friend like this, that they go through relationships and whoever they're with is always crazy? Always. I literally am thinking of 3 guys off the top of my head. Every girl they date's crazy. You ever think maybe it's you? You ever think maybe you're the problem? Every receiver does things wrong. Every blocking scheme is wrong. Everything you do is wrong. The only consistent here, Tommy, is you. He was awful yesterday. Mm-hmm. And it's not new information.
No, he has been. Here's the problem that Tom Brady has, is that this offense has been throwing so many times that his stats get skewed. He has all of these yards, and everybody goes, oh, he's
fourth in the NFL.
He's
yards.
still top 5 in yards.
Mm-hmm.
Well, congratulations, because in inaccurate throws, I'm pretty sure he's number 1. Now, I don't do those measures. I'm not the analytics guy. I have no idea. I just know what I see when I watch these games. And it's my team, so I watch them all the time. And the problem is, Tom Brady doesn't have it.
No.
And the worst part about it is he doesn't know why. You can tell that all his life, all his professional career, he has had this figured out. He could zone out whatever extra is going on in his outside life, whether it be, the Bridget Moynihan stuff or the, where he's getting flack for being friends with Donald Trump or whatever it is. He's always been able to just zone that out and lock it in on game day. And that's how I thought this season was going to go, was that old Tom Brady would be able to zone out whatever, and it would just be fine. But there is something wrong. He has lost something. Clearly, I mean, there were plays yesterday where you just look at it and you go, Tom Brady would never have made that play in any other year except for this one. The only solution the only resolution that I could come to is Tom Brady is done. He will never be the same.
Because what you said is you're not the analytical guy. I am.
Yeah.
Tom Brady, how many quarterbacks in the NFL have thrown more times than Tom Brady?
No one.
Do you want to hear the list again?
Yeah.
Now, of the top 10, how many of them have a worse QBR than Tom?
All of them.
It's Matt Ryan. That's the only one.
Oh, worse than him.
Worse
I thought you were
than
saying
him.
better than him.
He's the only one. And I got news for you. Tom at this point is way closer to Matt Ryan than he is to Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen. I'm just reading the list verbatim.
Right.
At some point, and now this is where I put it on Todd Bowles and Byron Leftwich. At some point, you have to figure out this ain't who we are anymore. We're not Tommy throws it around 45 times. I vaguely remember you telling me Tom's just going to be the catalyst, and he's going to – yeah. And I told you were crazy. And you weren't, but not for the reason that you thought. That we were both wrong is basically where I'm headed with it.
Okay.
I knew Todd Bowles was going to be a problem. I've watched it happen. The man could literally screw up instructions from IKEA. That's just what he does. I don't think Tom knows it's him. I honestly think he is looking in the mirror going, I'm doing my part, and everybody else is messing this up. That you wouldn't throw tantrums like that if you didn't know, if you knew it was you.
Yeah, I disagree. I mean, because I would. I mean, look, I'm not the best quote unquote loser you've ever seen. You see those memes out there of the Monopoly board flipped over? I've done that.
I have never done that.
I have.
Then again, I'm also a G at Monopoly. So.
I have done that before. Now, I don't lose well, but I also know that I play a part in it. I can't wrap my head around Tom Brady doesn't know. Because I saw there was a play last week where he missed a throw or something, and he does like this primal scream as soon as the play is over. Like he's just staring at the ground, hands on each side of his head, and just screaming as loud as he possibly can. And to me, that shows he knows it's not there. He knows he can't do it. He can't possibly not know it's him. When you perfect play yesterday to me. San Francisco defense, I think this was the third quarter, might have been early fourth quarter. San Francisco defense gets in their arrangement, their formation. Tampa gets in their formation. Chris Godwin had no one on him. No one. There was not even a corner on that side of the field. Tom Brady snaps the ball, and Chris is just going, hey, he's jumping jacks. He's just doing jumping jacks like, hey, there's no one over here. Would Tom Brady have ever missed that in another season?
No.
Never. So, I mean, I can't explain it. I don't know what it is. But it's obvious that, one, he can't do it physically. Because there was a play yesterday where he had a guy wide open on the sideline. Well, not wide open. I mean, he was covered. But if he'd have dumped it over his head, touchdown, easy 6. He hit the defender in the back with the ball. He's underthrowing, he's overthrowing, he's throwing balls in the dirt, and don't tell me that it's all because Donovan Smith sucks, which he does, and I told you he was going to be one of the reasons that we lost that game. I told you he might have 8 holding penalties in that game. Well, in the first quarter, they had a 63-yard touchdown to Mike Evans that got called back because Donovan Smith was holding on, and he did it about 6 times during that game.
I'm going to draw a comparison, and this is going to sound strange when I say it. You will admit that you are not the type A personality of this here show.
I am not.
I am. And I can tell you the thing about type A's, we never see it until it's already over. Let me give you an example. Ric Flair.
Mm-hmm.
I love Ric Flair. One of the dirtiest player in the game, greatest to ever do it, on and on and on and on and on. Look at him now. He is a hollow shell of what he was even 10 years ago. He doesn't see it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a video trending right now of somebody going up to him in an airport and him basically just eschewing them because you don't know who I am. Of course she doesn't know who you are. She's 22. You're 80. I'm looking at Tom Brady the exact same way.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get that it's not you. You don't get it. Mike Evans, wide open.
Mm-hmm.
Wide open. Underthrows it.
Yep.
Yeah, you had one on a holding penalty. That's not the one I'm talking about. Then you miss him in the back of the end zone. Is every receiver running the wrong route, or is it on you, Tom? Because that's what I see.
It's on Tom.
What I see when I break down this film is if Todd Bowles had the huevos, he'd sit Tom down.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how good Kyle Trask is. I don't care how good Blaine Gabbert is. It'd be hard for you to be worse than what I'm watching right now.
Mm-hmm.
The mystique of Tom Brady is dead.
Yep.
And New England Patriot fans, let me do you a favor. Stop clamoring for him to come back to you.
You don't want to.
Because you think it's bad with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin? Give him Jacoby Myers and Hunter Henry. They might go the wrong direction.
It's absolutely horrid.
It is a train wreck.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact one of these teams is going to get a home playoff game is gross.
Yep. And it's all going to come down to that matchup at Bank of America Stadium in 3 weeks.
Well, at
Raymond James Stadium. In 3
they already
weeks.
beat you in Bank of America.
Yes, we already, trust me, I remember. I was there to see it.
Oh, it was a great day. It's a great day to be alive. Much like yesterday. Also, great day to be alive.
It was a great day to be alive because he won. And now he's just insufferable.
Bill Belichick in our YouTube comments said, Jeremy Who from New England said they wanted him back. Me and Armchair will find them immediately.
There's a bunch of them.
The interwebs is a fun place. Mm-hmm. The 3-round mock draft that we put out over the weekend, go check the comments of that. There are people that believe all kinds of things. I just had somebody tell me that the fact Mike Tomlin's never had a losing season is not an accomplishment. Mm-hmm.
That's an interesting take.
That is a way to look at that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a delusional way to look at that, but more power to you.
Yep. Something has happened to Sendo. Sendo said beginning of this year, Evans and Tom were buddies. The whole Lattimore fight and all of that. He said something has happened, and he's pissed off. Yeah. I don't know what's happened. But they just can't get together. Nobody knows where they're going, and Tom Brady doesn't know where he's throwing it.
It's not hard to figure out. This is the pretty girl at the bar all over again. Prettiest girl in the room, she can be kind of rude, and people will deal with it. Sorry, this is the way it is. Well, Tom's not the prettiest girl in the bar anymore. Tom's the 4 that thinks he's an 8.
Mm-hmm.
And that wears on people quick.
Uh-huh. And he misses another throw or two to Mike Evans, he will catch those hands. Just wait.
To be honest with you, I've been waiting for that for 2 weeks. I'm waiting for Tom to do that little temper tantrum thing at the wrong time to the wrong person, and we're going to have a whole different narrative to talk about.
Mm-hmm. and it's going to be Mike. Because Mike's just unstable enough, and he's not going to take it anymore. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. It's time to get just a bit outside.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
Normally, we like to tell jokes about weird stories in this segment, in all of these special segments that we do at the bottom of every hour, but this one is no laughing matter. Just felt like we needed an update here. If you have not heard the news, Texas Longhorns men's basketball coach Chris Beard famously led the Texas Tech Red Raiders to the national championship game just a few years ago. He has been arrested on a domestic assault charge, and all of the reports, well, the official statement or the official police report by Austin PD is that around 12:15 a.m. last night, or I guess early this morning, to be technical, there was a 911 call for a disturbance in the 1900 block of Vista Lane. The caller reported that the disturbance was no longer ongoing and one of the individuals had left the house. APD officers responded and located a woman who stated that she had been assaulted and strangled by Christopher Michael Beard. He has been booked into the Travis County Jail. He is expected to make his first court appearance sometime before 4 a.m. tomorrow. That first appearance has to happen in the first 24 hours. He has officially been charged with assault by strangulation/suffocation, family violence, a third-degree felony. There was a rumor going around that there was possibly that he had defended his daughter against his daughter's boyfriend or something like
That's
that.
not
All of that
true.
is unsubstantiated at the moment.
Well, it's also not true.
Police say
I did the digging on that. The kid doesn't live in the house, so it can't be the daughter's boyfriend. Whoever this is lives in his house.
Right.
Well, he's only got 3 daughters.
Mm-hmm.
He's not married. He does have a fiance. I don't know if they live together. But whatever happened here is with somebody that lives in that house.
Yes. There was a report from a newspaper reporter in Austin that works for the Statesman, I think is the name of the newspaper down there, who had tweeted out that it was the fiancé who had made the complaint. And then he later deleted the tweet and said, I've deleted the tweet out of respect for the complainant. And then, of course, everything lives online. So they were like, oh, you mean this tweet? And showed the screenshots of he says that it was the fiancé. We don't know that for certain, but that is the report at the moment. If this is all the case, Texas will probably make a staunch move.
Oh, no doubt.
And sever ties with Chris Beard as soon as possible. But all the information we are still gathering, still learning. Don't know what we will learn out of all of this.
So Tank took a serious turn.
Yes.
That's not what we do around here. So I'm going to go completely opposite way. Jerry Jones, fresh off of watching his Dallas Cowboys almost lose to the worst team I've ever seen in my life. What would be the stupidest thing for you to come out and say today?
It was never in doubt.
Well, that would have been worse. But this is pretty close. He wants to see an extra game. 18 games is what Jerry Jones now wants. He was on his KNC masterpiece, the segment he does on that show in Dallas. One more I see, and I'm a big proponent of it. I think that's the right level that allows us to, as we go into the early games of the season, that allows us to have those games. You'll get better if you play those games because you'll play less preseason games. Jerry, let me just – you needed a small act of God to beat the Houston Texans, who I'm pretty sure would find some way to lose in an inter-squad scrimmage. I don't think more regular season games is what you're looking for, friend. I think you need to see less of everything. Can we go back to 14 games? Because I feel like that's the honey hole for the Dallas Cowboys. Stop talking. Just for the love of all, it's good. No, just stop talking.
He needs to have one more gate. That's all this is about. He just wants to have one more home gate. Because he knows he's not going to get too many home gates in the playoffs. But-um-ch.
Yeah, Jerry, you better be really glad that Tony Pollard is a D-O-double-G dog. Because if it wasn't for him, you'd be hanging an L to the Houston Texans.
Mm-hmm.
Our buddy Tim that watches.
But Ezekiel Elliott scored the game-winning touchdown.
Yeah, he didn't mean to. Our buddy Tim, that's a loyal, lifelong Dallas Cowboy fan, watches football with us on Sundays at the Village Porch, 51 North Merriman Avenue. It's the best place in Asheville to watch a football game, and I stick by that. And I know that because I watched a lot of football there this weekend. Because I do it. Because every time I can. He basically said, look, the Dallas Cowboys, they can beat anybody. They can also lose to anybody. Mm-hmm. And that is about the best way I've heard that said. Because it's completely accurate.
Mm-hmm.
They love to play to the level of their competition. Yeah, you can blow out of Minnesota. You can also almost lose to Houston.
Mm-hmm.
You can also look gnarly and gross against the Giants.
Yeah, that vaunted defense definitely did not look like a vaunted defense yesterday with the combination of David Mills and Jeff Driscoll.
Oh, yeah. It's always a good sign when you're playing an NFL team and they have two quarterbacks. You don't see that very often. And do you know why? Because it's stupid.
Yeah, Dallas definitely feeling the danger zone after that game,
yeah,
or late in that game.
I feel like the recipe for beating the Dallas Cowboys is out now after Houston. All right, so come into this game with a weapon and give that weapon the ball every time you snap it. Just 47 carries. I don't care. Just keep doing it. They'll never see it coming.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Saw the beautiful sunshine for our Monday. We're going to bring in the clouds here, though, as we wrap up the day, and we'll run temperatures back to the mid-30s now for our Tuesday. Early clouds, a little clearing later. Officially, we'll call it partly sunny. Go up to the mid to upper 40s, back to mostly clouds, mid-30s for our Tuesday night. And then afternoon rain coming in for our Wednesday. Afternoon high mid-40s. I'm Jeff Eno from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. The rumors are true. Nacho fries are back at Taco Bell for a limited time. So if you've been craving those golden fries with their Mexican spices and that warm nacho cheese sauce you dip them in, go to Taco Bell and order some today. Contact store for participation, which varies.
Don't let unused insurance dollars go to waste. Most insurance plans cover 2 dental cleanings and exams each year before expiring on January 1st. Maximize the dental insurance benefits you're already paying for and schedule your exam today with Asheville Smiles. Dr. Merrill's mission is world-class dental care through technology and research, so you'll get the most advanced treatment with the comforts of home. Schedule your exam now before the end of the year rush at AshevilleSmiles.com.
Holiday shopping is exhausting. I hit like 30 stores already. You?
I went to Verizon.
Oh, and?
And that's it.
Seriously?
Seriously. I got the new iPhone 14 Pro on Verizon, plus more Apple gifts like Apple Watch SE, iPad, and Beats Fit Pro, also on Verizon. A value of up to $1,900.
Seriously?
Yeah, the iPhone 14 Pro is perfect for my teenager. Its new Pro camera system takes amazing pictures, even in low light. She's gonna love it.
So who gets the Apple gifts?
Oh, the Apple gifts? I'm keeping those for myself.
Kinda like a finder's fee?
More like a holiday miracle.
Seriously.
This holiday, get to your Verizon store for their best deal of the year. A service plan is required for gifts. 5G phone, up to $999.99 device payment purchase or full retail purchase with newer upgrade smartphone line required. Less up to $1,000 trade-in promo credit applied over 36 months. 0% APR. Additional terms and conditions apply. Visit Verizon.com for offer details. Up to $1,900 value based on iPhone, Apple Watch, iPad, and Beats.
The rumors are true. Nacho fries are back at Taco Bell for a limited time. So if you've been craving those golden fries with their Mexican spices and that warm nacho cheese sauce you dip them in, go to Taco Bell and order some today. Contact store for participation, which varies.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at RogueCombatClub.com.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelley Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
The Sportsocracy.
You're just dumber than a bag of hammers.
It's the Sportsocracy, heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app and seen everywhere on YouTube. Coming to you from the Ingles Studio, and as the weeks go on, we get closer and closer to figuring out what the playoffs are going to look like. Look, we know pretty much how all the divisions are going to work out, except for the NFC South. Right? I mean, Minnesota Vikings, they win one. They got the Colts coming up this week. They win that game. They've clinched the North.
On the first Saturday Night Football. Man, I wish we did this more often.
What? Oh, Saturday football.
Oh, yeah. Saturday's going to be a great day.
Well, the NFL is nice enough not to do Saturdays so that college can have their day.
Yeah, in college, let's be real honest here. You should be really thankful for that.
Right. We just don't we don't want to swallow up the feeder system.
Yeah, you give me Ohio State, Penn State, or I don't know, Detroit and Minnesota. I will not think about this for very long.
No, it's Detroit and Minnesota every time. So you've got Minnesota's going to win the North. You got Philadelphia's going to win they've already clinched a playoff spot. And
they're going to win the East.
They're going to win the East.
Yeah, Dallas, you almost lost to the Texans, okay? And not only do you have to beat them, you need some help.
Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers are going to win the West because there's no one else in that division that can, I mean, you say what you want about your Seahawks, they're divine comedy. It's not happening, okay?
Well, I mean, you might make the playoffs, but you're not a threat to anybody. Just like all of the wild card teams. There is not a wild card team except for one. There is one wild card team that I'm telling you right now I don't want to mess with at all.
And it's going to be?
The Detroit Lions.
Yeah. I was fully expecting the massive pushback from Jeremy Greene when I walked in today and said, I'm starting to not see a path where the Detroit Lions don't make the playoffs.
You remember that thing I said of Vegas doesn't make mistakes? The Lions were a 2-point favorite yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
You know why? Because Vegas thinks they're better than Minnesota. Straight up, Vegas thinks they're better, and they knew. All we have to do is throw out the carrot, and the Lambs are going to fall right off the cliff.
Yep.
Minnesota's a good team. Ish.
Yeah, they're good.
They are really good at beating bad teams.
Mm-hmm.
Detroit's not bad.
Yeah.
Detroit's not drafting a quarterback. It's Jared Goff, and that offense is terrifying.
Yes, they are.
I will give you one U.S. doll hair if you can tell me who the leading rusher in this game for either team was.
Oh, gosh. Leading rusher for Detroit was it Jamal?
It was C.J. Moore, the safety that ran the fake punt. Because Dalvin Cook had 15 carries for 23 yards.
Okay.
Let me say it again. Dalvin Cook had 15 carries for 23 yards against a defense that at the beginning of this year was historically awful and allowed Justin Jefferson to have one of the best days I've ever seen a receiver have. Incredibly predictable. I'm still dumbfounded he never found a way to get in the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because let's throw it to K.J. Osborne on the 10-yard line. Because why not?
A little maddening for your fantasy day.
Oh, a little bit. It was a good day. Could have been a great day.
Could have been. But the Lions, they play your Jets in New York this week.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to say something, and I'm going to get called a homer. I promise you. Yesterday with the Buffalo Bills went exactly how I told you it was going to. The Jets will throttle this Lions team. You mark my words. Just remember I said that.
Okay.
They will throttle this Lions team. And then they will not lose another game the rest of the year.
Mm-hmm.
The Jets are the worst possible matchup for Detroit. And now, and you can call this fortunate for one, unfortunate for the other, however you want to do it. This is the week that everybody's giving Detroit their flowers. And so we're going to heap the flowers on Detroit. Look at Dan Campbell, coach of the year. Let's go, baby! 33-6. You remember what New England did to this team?
Yeah.
They were still doing this then. They went up against a buzzsaw of, oh, you keep us from scoring at will, and we're not going to stop you. So that's a recipe for disaster. Mm-hmm. Minnesota has a huge problem with that defense. Jared Goff picked them apart. I mean, picked them apart. Mm-hmm. With no semblance, really, of a running game whatsoever. Still don't understand why DeAndre Swift had it. Sensitive subject.
Just a little bit. But they go to the New York Giants this week. to the New York Jets this week. Then at Bank of America Stadium the next week against the Carolina Panthers, Chicago Bears, and then at the Green Bay Packers to finish the season. This team should win 3 out of those 4. Correct?
Oh, absolutely. They're going to get throttled this week, and then they will win out. Mm-hmm. And they will be a playoff team, and they will be a terrifying playoff team.
And then I looked, well, where does that put them in the playoff race? Okay, so they're currently 6-7. 3 out of the next 4 would mean they finish out 9-8. Then
the Giants won't do that.
You look at the Giants' schedule. You look at the Seattle Seahawks schedule. And both of those teams, I feel, are destined to lose 3 out of the next 4.
I agree.
You end up with the New York Giants at 8-1, and then Seattle Seahawks at 8-9, and that means a 9-8 Detroit Lions team is the 7th seed in this playoffs. And the Washington Commanders, all they have to do is go 2-2 and get the 6th seed. And I think that's completely doable. They beat the Giants, probably beat Cleveland, San Francisco, Dallas may not go their way. Of course, last week of the season, maybe they get Dallas because Dallas is resting people for the playoffs. I don't know.
And now here's the ugly part of what I saw yesterday. If you play out the schedules here, there's a really good chance that the 2 seed in the NFC is the Minnesota Vikings, which means that's who Detroit would play. Because your wild cards would then be Dallas, Washington, Detroit. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, you mean that team that we lost to once should have lost to twice, and now they're playing better than they've played at any point in the season? Mm-hmm. That's a recipe for a uh-oh.
Yep. Minnesota Vikings could be one and done in the playoffs. If you'd had the Detroit Lions at the beginning of the season winning a playoff game, you're a witch.
And I'm going to say something that's going to sound completely insane when it comes out of my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Name me the team in the NFC that Philadelphia would want to see less than Detroit. I'm talking sheer matchup. Who do you want to see less than you want to see Detroit? Am I really worried about Brock Purdy with Darius Slay and James Bradbury? Really?
No.
Am I worried about whoever wins the South?
No.
Am I worried about the Dallas Cowboys, who we're going to shellac?
No.
RJ in our YouTube comment said the Commanders. It's the Commanders and the Lions. That's the 2 teams. If I'm Philadelphia, just please, God, let whoever we play, let it be somebody that won the division. I do not want to play those 2 teams.
Do they still do that thing where the number 1 seed gets the lowest winner?
Yeah, so Detroit would get Philadelphia if it went the way we said. Right. And that would be phenomenal television. Look, this playoffs is setting up to be as good as anything we have ever seen in the NFL.
Mm-hmm. The Detroit Lions, they have life. They are in the thick of the playoff hunt.
Oh,
and I believe that, I know they need a little help, but all you got to do is go in and take care of business.
Oh, you know what else they have? Currently, the number 4 pick in the 2023 NFL Draft. Thanks, Rams.
Oh, that didn't work out well.
In Matthew Stafford, you enjoying that? Good.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
The Ingles Advantage isn't just about savings or the best quality food for your family. It's more than that. It's the advantage of being a part of a community. That's why we provide over 2 million pounds of food every year through regular donations and programs like the Ingles Giving Tree, Food for Thought, and the Ingles Fill a Backpack program. It's the right thing to do, and we know that you would do the same. Ingles, your neighbor for over 50 years.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
At the Home Depot, we have plenty of Christmas trees to make your holidays even more magical. Hundreds of full, easy-to-assemble artificial trees that look so real, you may be convinced they actually are. And for those who love that fresh pine smell, we have a parking lot full of fresh-cut trees to call your own. We'll even help you load your tree in the car so you can bring home the holidays. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Where does the magic of the holidays come from? The North Pole? Maybe. Sugar plum fairies? Probably not. At Walgreens, we know that magic comes from you. It's the halls you deck from wall to wall, the wonderful gifts under your tree, and the holly jolly parties you throw. So dash into your local Walgreens, where we'll be here to help every merry little step of the way. Because when you're ready to spread the holiday cheer, it's not magic, it's Walgreens. This week, Starbucks mugs are 50% off. Select styles available while supplies last.
For more information about contests on the station, log on to espnavl.com.
Will they find a home? Sponsored by Geico. Steve is intrigued by the paranormal.
Otherworldly spirits really make a house a home, you know?
Janice has different taste.
I'd like my house to not be haunted.
Compromise is tough, but these two won't have to compromise when they bundle home and car insurance with Geico. It's easy, and they could save even more. In the end, Steve and Janice found a renovated Victorian that's only haunted from 9 to 5.
Okay, wife's home. I gotta bounce.
Bye, Steve. Bundling without compromise at geico.com.
You are in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, and the NFC playoffs were the season to end today. Would be
which they don't.
Number one, the Philadelphia Eagles as the number one seed. They became the first team to clinch a playoff spot with their 48-22 beatdown of the New York Giants.
The talent deficiency is just called the Giants.
Oh yeah,
I mean you can't be trotting out the low-level group of receivers that are trotting out.
Well, and the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, it's winning time. This offensive line is incredible.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's a super talented team.
Oh yeah.
I'm just saying what I'm hinting at here is the discrepancy in the NFC was made abundantly clear.
Mm-hmm.
The Giants have a nice future ahead of them. You're not there yet.
No. Number 2, Minnesota Vikings. Number 3 seed, the leaders of the West and eventual winners of the West, the San Francisco 49ers. And then currently the Tampa Bay Buccaneers would be the 4 seed. I'm trying not to puke on myself.
I was about to say, did they give you a little angina over there?
Ooh.
You need an Alka-Seltzer?
It's just bad. Whoever wins the NFC South, Godspeed to you in the playoffs. Number 5 seed, Dallas Cowboys at 10-3. Then you got the Washington Commanders at the 6th seed.
Welcome back Carson Wentz. Let's go.
Yeah.
To be the backup.
Carson Wentz will be the backup to Taylor Heineken.
I do love that Ron Rivera shut that down immediately. Oh, yeah, he'll be back in a jersey, and he'll be holding a clipboard, which is where he belongs.
Absolutely, that's where he belongs, and I'll give Ron Rivera the flowers for that. That's exactly how that should have gone down. Don't play coy with it. Taylor's our guy. And the number 7 seed right now would be the New York Football Giants, despite the loss to the Philadelphia Eagles, as the Seahawks losing to the Panthers brought them down to the 8, and the Lions with the win, they go up to the 9 at 6 and 7.
I just feel like the 3 wild cards are destined to be the Cowboys, the Commanders, and the Detroit Lions.
I would agree.
And Seattle and the Giants, you just had 2 tremendous drafts. You're headed the right direction.
And you're going to be on the cusp of the playoffs yet again. You'll be favorites to make the playoffs again next year.
Another thing that has to be talked about, do you realize how many rookies those 2 teams are playing? The rookie wall's a thing. These guys are not used to playing 17 games. Weird. Things start to break down around that 12-13 range. How many games you play in college?
12-13.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's not an accident. We see this happen every single year. Usually happens with the Baltimore Ravens because they draft so well that these guys have a role, and you see them break down late.
The other play outside the playoffs, I mean, with an outside chance to make the playoffs, you got the Carolina Panthers trying to chase down the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 3 weeks, they play each other. So
that's the division.
And that's the division. That will decide who wins this division. The division. Then you got the Atlanta Falcons. They're still in the hunt. They're right there tied with the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, no, they're not. They're 1-3 in the division, so they lose every tiebreaker to everyone.
Still have a path, though.
You need Carolina to catch whatever Tampa Bay has when they play them in Raymond James 2 weeks from now. And then the rest of the conference is irrelevant.
Exactly. And one of those will be playing on Monday Night Football tonight against the New England Patriots. Stay tuned. Of course, Jeremy will have his picks for the night coming up in the 3rd hour of the program, along with the daily draft. We'll talk about how things shook out in the AFC yesterday in Week 14.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Saw the beautiful sunshine for our Monday. We're going to bring in the clouds here, though, as we wrap up the day, and we'll run temperatures back to the mid-30s now for our Tuesday. Early clouds, a little clearing later. Officially, we'll call it partly sunny. Go up to the mid to upper 40s. Back to mostly clouds, mid-30s for our Tuesday night. And then afternoon rain coming in for our Wednesday. Afternoon high mid-40s. I'm Jeff Eno from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Pfizer. When temperatures drop, COVID-19 cases may rise. So if you test positive and are at high risk, act fast. Even if your symptoms feel mild, ask your provider if an authorized oral treatment could be right for you. Visit treatcovid19.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
At the Home Depot, we have plenty of Christmas trees to make your holidays even more magical. Hundreds of full, easy-to-assemble artificial trees that look so real, you may be convinced they actually are. And for those who love that fresh pine smell, we have a parking lot full of fresh-cut trees to call your own. We'll even help you load your tree in the car so you can bring home the holidays. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
The Sportsocracy.
Take all this, burn it, okay? Gasoline, kerosene, either one. Burn it.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Mississippi State football coach Mike Leach remains hospitalized in critical condition after suffering a massive heart attack at home yesterday, according to the Clarion Ledger. Texas men's basketball coach Chris Beard was arrested this morning on a felony domestic violence charge. His attorney told the Austin American-Statesman Beard should have never been arrested. The complainant wants him released immediately and all charges dismissed. Number 7 Texas hosts Rice tonight. 49ers rookie quarterback Brock Purdy, coming off an impressive performance in the win over the Bucs, says he believes he'll play Thursday versus Seattle despite an oblique injury. Purdy brings a lot to the Niners offense, says ESPN NFL analyst Louis Riddick.
He doesn't have to just be a point guard. He's a guy who can buy time in the pocket. He can make great decisions on the run. He can fit the football all over the football field, short, intermediate, and deep. He can make the off-schedule throws. He can get them in the right kind of plays. And, these kind of things are just going to accelerate as time goes on.
Cowboys right tackle Terrence Steele will miss the rest of this season with torn ligaments in his left knee, reports ESPN's Todd Archer. Monday Night Football, Patriots-Cardinals, 8:15 Eastern, ESPN TV.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
It's the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Second hour of the program here in the Ingles Studio. You can hear us everywhere on the iHeart Radio app and see us everywhere on YouTube. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, join the more than 3,000 subscribers to the Sportsocracy YouTube page. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click on the live video link, subscribe to the channel, and join us in the chat. Plus, you'll get all the alerts when we are live here in the Ingles Studio, like trying to get you ready for your fantasy football day each and every Sunday morning, and except for Christmas. We're not going to do that.
No.
We will not be here Christmas morning to get you set for your fantasy day.
But we will have something.
We will have some kind of content coming out for you. There will not be a live show on Christmas.
We have breaking news.
Oh, breaking news. Always a good way to start out the hour here in the Sportsocracy.
Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
This is the news you've been waiting for. After their almost loss to the Houston Texans yesterday, the Dallas Cowboys have officially signed wide receiver T.Y. Hilton.
No.
Yep, that's
woo, fun stuff.
Man, that is the definition of, Mom, can we stop at McDonald's? We have McDonald's at home. There's T.Y. Hilton for you. Ta-da! We already have Odell Beckham. His name's T.Y. Hilton.
She makes you fried potted meat on white bread. There's your McDonald's.
Wow. That's, man, Cowboy fans, how you feel about that? You were promised a receiver. We got you one, but it's not the one you wanted. It's not the one you wanted.
And I don't even kind of care. Like, this guy was washed 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah. You know what that tells me? Odell Beckham Jr. is either headed to Kansas City or Buffalo.
Mm-hmm. Somebody that will plug him in during the playoff chase. And it would only make sense to me for it to be Kansas City.
Kansas City's what makes most sense.
Kansas City, to me, look, I don't know that I would screw with the chemistry if I was anybody other than Kansas City. Because I just feel like that's going to have an adverse effect on a not-so-well-coached team. I'm not trying to throw shade at Sean McDermott by any chance, by any stretch. I'm just saying Andy Reid would be the guy.
Look, I don't feel like they need him, and I'm going to be honest. I think Kansas City does. Had Kansas City not almost killed Russell Wilson at the end of regulation yesterday, we might be having a very different discussion here. Did Kansas City just quit?
Yes.
That was a legitimate game late. Now, did I ever really think Denver was going to win it? No. But that should never have been allowed to be that close.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem that I see, we talked about the NFC in the first hour, AFC in this hour.
Yep.
There are three teams to me that are just far and away better than everybody else. Cincinnati, Kansas City, Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
One of them cannot play dead in the Western on defense.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the Kansas City Chiefs.
Absolutely.
They are going to have to shoot out with you because I feel like the Bengals and the Bills defensively are closer to each other than we want to admit.
Wow. That's a statement.
Losing Trey Hendrickson hurts. But Cincinnati is closer to Buffalo than we want to admit.
Mm-hmm.
You take Von Miller away from Buffalo, now it's starting to look a lot similar.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of similarity between those two.
Yep.
I am not overly impressed with what I see from Kansas City. I caught some flack last week because I had Kansas City at 4 in power rankings. I'm not sure I'm not too high.
You're not.
I'm not sure I'm not too high. If San Francisco and Kansas City played right now, who are you taking? Brock Purdy. I'm well aware of that.
It would still be Kansas City.
I don't think it is for me.
Really?
I don't think it is for me. Look, Pat Mahomes is special.
Mm-hmm.
It tells me something that this is an NFL team that looks at running the ball and goes, no. Or we could just not. In a game that was really never in doubt. It's 2-1 pass to run.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to burn you at some point. I mean, we've been playing this game with them for years.
Yep.
Because you burned the draft pick with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Now we feel like Isaiah Pacheco's the guy. Averaged 5.5 yards a carry. And he touched the ball exactly 13 times.
Mm-hmm.
Well, 16 with 3 receptions. You cannot be this unbalanced. Buffalo can run. Cincinnati can run.
Mm-hmm.
They run Samaje Perine entirely too much, but that's for another day. I feel like walking away from yesterday, the Cincinnati Bengals are the best team in the AFC. And I know that sounds spicy.
It does.
Would you take Josh Allen or Pat Mahomes over Joe Burrow right now?
No.
No. Would you take any receiver in the NFL ahead of Jamar Chase right now?
No.
No. The defense is good. I still think there's more to Joe Mixon that we haven't seen.
Mm-hmm.
And yesterday, the Cleveland Browns, Joe Burrow never beats the Cleveland Browns. They have his number. How many times did they pressure him yesterday? How many QB pressures did they have in a 60-minute game against Joe Burrow?
Don't know. How many?
3.
That's it?
That's it.
Wow.
The line's getting better. I mean, Jonah Williams is still a problem, but he held up pretty well yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I think Cincinnati's the favorite. If I had to pick one right now, it's the Cincinnati Bengals.
Wow. Yeah, I'm not there. I'm still on Kansas City. And I'm still on Buffalo 2, and I'm still on Cincinnati 3.
But for why? All right, have the floor.
Mm-hmm.
I see Stephen Tao going, here we go again. What am I supposed to say?
Right.
I mean, look, I understand that John Watson wasn't great.
Mm-hmm.
I'm well aware of that. But I told you weeks ago, if Cincinnati makes it through the murderer's row that is the end of their schedule,
mm-hmm.
how do you not take them? If Cincinnati wins this division, how do you not take Cincinnati as the favorite? I mean, yeah, you have to go into Buffalo.
Yeah.
Did that look overly daunting yesterday?
No, it doesn't.
The Jets, who couldn't play
always
dead in the Western offensively, and yet somehow with 2 minutes to go, there was still a chance for this to be a JETS victory.
And with the problems that Buffalo has in the secondary, I get why that's a major problem.
Oh, look, I'm going to be really honest with you. As somebody that just watched 60 full minutes of Buffalo Bill football, either Garrett Wilson is Justin Jefferson light, or that secondary is not good at all.
Well, we know the secondary's not good.
Now that front seven,
Wilson is good.
That front seven, I'm pretty sure actually tried to kill Mike White.
Yes, they
and then
did.
Robert Saleh went, back in you go.
And see, I think that's what I think that is the thing that gives me the edge for Buffalo over Cincinnati right now. I get that their offensive line held up yesterday. Good for you. Glad you did. Glad you could keep Joe Burrow healthy. But I think they're going to have problems against a team like Buffalo. I don't care that Von Miller isn't going to come back. I still think they have enough to throw at Joe Burrow to make him uncomfortable enough. The problem that I have is game on the line, what quarterback do I want? It's Joe Burrow. If it's between him and Josh Allen, I want Joe Burrow hands down.
I feel like that's very, very close. I'm getting to the point that with the injuries and different things like that, I'm not sure Buffalo's as good as I think they are.
Mm-hmm. With the game on the line, though, I'm taking Patrick Mahomes over all of them.
I'm not. For me, it's Joe Burrow, and maybe it's because of the weapons. Pat Mahomes does not have a Jamar Chase.
Absolutely.
Now you sign Odell Beckham Jr., now you have the Wish version of Jamar Chase.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that would bring it closer. But right now, I look at Kansas City and Buffalo as you're 90% of the way there. I think Cincinnati's done.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's a 100% Super Bowl contender roster, and we're not talking about it because of how poorly it started. And now we're not looking at the fact that's the team playing the best football in the NFL right now.
Mm-hmm.
No, do they blow teams out? No.
I mean, except for Philadelphia.
I don't
really.
I don't know that I agree with
Cincinnati
that.
over Philly.
If they played right now, you have to bet your house on it. Who are you taking?
I believe I'd take Philly.
I'm not. Look, Philadelphia's fantastic. I'm watching one team that's getting haymakers every single week. The Philadelphia Eagles are playing Sisters of Mercy and a group of Boy Scouts every other week.
Mm-hmm.
It's just hard for me to look at that and go, well, that's as impressive as this is. And I'm not just talking about the Browns. I've been thinking this for weeks. It seems like that team is clicking into stride at the perfect time. And if you told me that was the Super Bowl, Philadelphia Eagles, Cincinnati Bengals, sign me up.
Mm-hmm.
Frankly, Philadelphia Eagles, any of these three teams, sign me up.
Right. And I get that we just saw Cincinnati beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Playoffs a different story.
Mm-hmm.
Although they beat them last time. But we've seen, just like I said this past week, you're going to see that streak break at some point. That whole Joe Burrow's 0-4 against the Cleveland Browns. You're going to see that streak bust.
That gets into more of that, well, they're due, which is just ridiculous to me.
The Patrick Mahomes thing, do you think he's never going to beat Joe Burrow? That he'll never be able to beat the Cincinnati Bengals?
But it has nothing to do with the fact he's done it 3 times. You can tell me he's done it 100 times.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
These things aren't played in a vacuum.
I know.
I mean, and there's a reason that he's beaten him 3 times. I think Cincinnati's better. And I'm not going to lie to you. I think there's another level of Cincinnati that we haven't even seen yet. Because for whatever reason, Zach Taylor is just obsessed with getting Samaje Perine touches. I think he has a prop bet on over-under season touches for Samaje Perine.
Hey, just trying to mix it up.
Yeah, stop doing that. You have one running back that's really good. You have one that is super mediocre. Maybe. Hold on, I hadn't done this yet today. Run the damn ball!
Look, nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition, right? I mean, at some point, you got to mix it up, throw it to somebody else. Samaje Perine just happens to be working at the moment.
Yeah, Joe Mixon, averaged 7 yards a carry yesterday. Do that, especially against Cleveland.
Mm-hmm. Conversations living room with RJ says Philly slightly better than the Bengals. And I think I agree with that.
Talent for talent, I would agree. Here's the problem. You get into the playoffs, I get Joe Burrow, you get Jalen Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not telling you can't do it. I'm saying I've seen one of them do it. I've never seen the other one do it.
Right.
I've seen Jalen Hurts play one playoff game, and for 60 minutes, it looked like he won a fan contest to be there. I get that this is a completely different roster. I'm well aware of that.
Mm-hmm.
And he's playing at a higher level. I got it.
M. Stone says Hurts' rushing ability puts him above Burrow, in his opinion.
I can't agree with that. At the end of the day, when we get into playoff time, we get into winning time, I need a quarterback that I can get the ball with a minute to go, and I know that guy can lead me down the field.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that in Joe Burrow. I believe it out of Pat Mahomes. I believe it out of Josh Allen. You can infer where I'm headed with this. When I know what you're doing, it's hard in this league. It is really hard in the NFL when I know exactly what you're getting ready to do for me to not stop you. I feel like teams know what Cincinnati's doing on every play, and it doesn't matter because Jamar Chase just makes you look foolish.
Mm-hmm.
And this was without T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd. They had the two of us out there playing receiver. I think the Crocodile Hunter caught a touchdown. I just saw Irwin pop up on the screen. I don't even know who that is. The Cincinnati team's good. Mm-hmm. You can undervalue them at your own risk, but I'm not.
Yeah. I mean, again, in these discussions, what is undervaluing? Okay, so they're the second best team. You think they're the best. I think they're the second best. I'm not saying that.
I wasn't talking about you.
It.
That was a metaphorical you.
I get it, but I'm just saying I kind of feel like everybody should be there. How about that? That's the way that should be said. Everybody should be at that point of, if you're not on Cincinnati as the favorite, they should be up there. They got to be your 2. They got to be your 3. If you got them any lower than that, you're just hoping that somebody else is better. And at this point, I'm not sure who that could be. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Nothing changed as far as the playoff standings go for the 1 through 6 seeds yesterday.
And then,
however, we got a new number 7. We'll talk about that up next.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slowing 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound slow between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Smoky Park Highway north and southbound approaching Sand Hill Road. Traffic is backing up. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road. Delays. Hendersonville Road moving incident-free. On the Charlotte Highway, no backups. Tunnel Road, no delays. I'm Lee Benfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. Looking for holiday gifts that won't be re-gifted? Head to eBay Motors. With millions of parts and accessories at the right prices, there's something for every car lover on your list. And with the money you save, you can pick up something for yourself, too. Happy holidays indeed. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride.
The bicycles. The toy fire trucks. Instead of giving gifts that kids will outgrow, invite grandparents and friends to contribute to your child's future with the UNest app. UNest allows parents to create an investment account for their kids that makes it easy to gift funds that can be used for college tuition, a first car, and more, just by sharing a link. To get started, download the UNest app from the App Store or Google Play. See terms and conditions at unest.co. That's UNEST.co.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
In the past year, I've lost more than 90 pounds with the PhD weight loss program. PhD has helped me learn healthy nutrition. They've helped me learn a better way to live, how to get more sleep, how to get more active, and obviously how to put only the good things into my body. I never thought there would be a program out there that could give me the kind of results that I have seen with Dr. Ashley Lucas in this program.
I did not have a ton of weight to lose. I had just gotten very lazy in my food choices, and I got a little, say, chunky. In just under a year on PhD, I have gone from one of the highest weights I've ever seen back to my high school weight, and I've slid all the way into a brand new wardrobe thanks to the planning program of PhD Weight Loss.
And if you're like me and you struggle sometimes to find motivation, that's why they have a group of dedicated health coaches that will not only help you out with the problems that you're having, but they will help keep you motivated throughout the process. It's myphdweightloss.com.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelley Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
The Sportsocracy.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
Back here in the Sportsocracy, heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app, and follow us on all the socials at the Sportsocracy. It's like sports and democracy all together. We get asked that a lot, but all jammed into one there. You can follow us on all the socials. We've got them all. We've got the InstaFace and the Twitter.
Insecure Graham.
And the Face Twit page. Can't forget about that one as well. All of that obviously ran by Jeremy Greene because I don't know what I'm doing.
And nobody ever said I did. But I try real hard.
You do a much better job than I do. That's for sure.
I got a lot of buttons.
You do have a lot of buttons.
I got a lot of buttons.
You got a lot of buttons, and he just wants to push all of them. Hey, it kind of sounds like our disagreements on this show.
Yes.
Yeah. Push all of the buttons. The only thing that changed in the AFC playoff race yesterday was, of course, the 7 seed in the playoffs. Currently, you got number 1, Buffalo Bills, number 2, Kansas City Chiefs, the Baltimore Ravens with their slight win over the Pittsburgh Steelers. They remain in control of the North Division. At number 3, you got the Tennessee Titans still holding on to the South because it would take a miracle for them not to win that.
Oh, yeah, they're winning the South. That's the one that we want to play, though. I don't want to catch either of those top 3.
No.
Tennessee got absolutely dog-walked yesterday by the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Mm-hmm. Number 5, Kansas City Chiefs. Number 6 is the Miami Dolphins. And now...
No, 5 is the Dolphins. 4 is the...
What did I say?
I don't know. You did something weird there, but the Chiefs are leading their division.
Cincinnati Bengals is what I meant to say in the 5 spot. Miami Dolphins at 6. And then the 7 seed now would be the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah. I feel like the win over Miami was incredibly predictable.
You did. You predictable.
I did. And it went exactly how I thought it would. Because... I'm going to say something, and it's going to sound really bizarre. What do Mike White, Skylar Thompson, and Brock Purdy all 3 have in common?
They're all backups in that Shanahan system.
And I could argue that all 3 offenses have run smoother when they were playing than the starter. You call me crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like all of these Kyle Shanahan disciples... They're like a kid with bottle rockets. When they have them, they just want to destroy things. So when you have these big arm quarterbacks, Trey Lance, Zach Wilson, Tua Tagovailoa, you cannot help but keep throwing deep. That's not how this offense is supposed to work. Why did Brock Purdy look so efficient yesterday? Because they didn't ask him to do much. Run the ball, stay on schedule, play the matchups.
Mm-hmm.
That is how this offense works. This is a glorified version of the old Mike Shanahan West Coast offense. You're not meant to be throwing it 45 yards down the field every other drive. And I felt like that was what was going to happen, and it would be both teams doing it, and the Chargers would be successful and the Dolphins wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly how it went. That is exactly how this went. And now I'll go one step further. I have absolutely no fear of the Chargers. None. Justin Herbert throws for 370 yards.
Mm-hmm.
How many touchdowns does he have?
1.
There you go. It's empty calories. Yeah, the Mike Williams thing, it's great. When he's on the field, that offense is completely different. You still can't run.
Yep.
You still can't run. I think there are tenets here. They could be the 4th best team in the AFC. But where I said Kansas City and Buffalo are about 90%, the Chargers are at about 70%. Because I still look at your coach and go, do you realize you almost played yourself into a loss last night?
Mm-hmm.
In a game that was not close. If you watched this, it was very clear who the better team was. But like Alex Majabi said in our YouTube comments, that line is dead and people are figuring it out. And if you keep letting Justin Herbert get hit this often, eventually he ain't going to get back up.
Right. You're going to have a major problem on your hands.
And this is what we said in the power rankings. There's just such a drop-off.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get it past those top three, the drop-off to Tennessee is off a cliff. You got smoked by the Jacksonville Jaguars, of which I can't figure that team out, and I'm not even going to try. Trevor Lawrence over the last 4 weeks has been almost immaculate.
It's exactly what you want to see.
Oh, Jacksonville fans should be ecstatic.
Mm-hmm. It's exactly.
I feel
what
like
you
there are
want
a
to see.
slew of historically bad teams that should be really happy right now.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say this is the biggest takeaway I had of yesterday, but it's very high. I'm legitimately worried about the Tennessee Titans.
Because of what? I mean, they're going to win their division, but
woo. You tell me who they're beating.
But
they beating the Miami Dolphins?
But did you think they were going to do that anyway? Did you think they were going to go into the playoffs and beat somebody after last year?
To a point, I did, yeah.
Okay.
Because they're well coached. They do all the things that travel, the defense, blah, 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 blah. What happened yesterday? You had Derrick Henry, who was on schedule. The running game was just fine.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing else was. The defense got carved like a Christmas ham. And Ryan Tannehill was horrid.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I get that you didn't have Traylon Burks. Chigakonkwo, you're welcome. I screamed that name on our fantasy football show. They don't call me the tight end whisperer for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
That was the free space on the board.
It's one of the happiest moments I saw him yesterday with